we are joined on the screen by none other than the candidate for mayor in the city of Buffalo, New York, the Democratic nominee, the victor of the Democratic primary, none other than India Walton. Sister Walton, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited. I'm a fan. So thanks for having me.
Oh, yes. Look, because I need people to understand that this account, this YouTube account, this TV show, this particular Like It or Not show is a Stan account for India Walton. So I just need people to know.
Yes, because I'm going to be honest with you, Sister Walton, like since the second I heard about your race and I listened to your voice and to what you stand for and what you fight for, I've been a fan. But then when I heard what was happening to you in your race, I sunk my teeth into this thing because it is an absurdity. So before we unpack all of that, could you tell the people about yourself and your race and what you're fighting for the people of Buffalo?
Sure. I'm India Walton. I was born and raised in Buffalo. My professional background is actually as a registered nurse, but I've been an organizer, activist. I led a lot of the BLM protests last summer, and I'm a former nonprofit executive. I was just really disappointed with the response of our current mayor after the uprisings last summer after the murder of George Floyd. And I decided that I was going to run for mayor and turn that protest power into political power. And we successfully unseated a 16-year, 4-term incumbent who was heavily entrenched despite not having establishment support. So I'm proud of the work that we've done. And rather than him concede and kind of show me the ropes, he's doubled down. He's waged a write-in campaign that's being powered by the GOP and far right, like they're known white supremacists who are his supporters. This is a black man, by the way. The attacks and smears and threats of violence are coming my way, but we're holding strong. And I think that we're going to finish with a win on November 2nd in the general election.
I want to let the people see the current mayor, who is the outgoing mayor, Byron Brown, who you've told is a black man who has, we're going to go with G1. This first clip is of him announcing this write-in campaign and denouncing you, a black woman, as nothing more than a socialist. Let's take a look at this black man.
We are going on to the general election as a candidate for mayor, and what people have been saying is write down Byron Brown. You know, we know the difference between socialism and democracy. We are going to fight for democracy in the city of Buffalo. The voters have said that they don't want an unqualified, inexperienced, radical socialist trying to learn on the job on the backs of the residents of this community. We will not let it happen.
I am a democratic socialist. The first word in that is Democrat.
And there you are at the end. Sister Walton, just please expound on Byron Brown.
He's a corporate Democrat. This is a man who's been in some sort of political office for the last 3 decades. He's a career politician who really caters to the developer class and the wealthy parts of Buffalo, which is not the majority of us. Buffalo's the 3rd poorest city of its size in the nation. We have a childhood poverty rate that's above 50%. And what I stand for is working class people, folks who come from neighborhoods like I grew up in that need help, that need assistance, closing this racial wealth and home ownership gap, who need access to quality jobs and education and healthcare. And to me, that is what being a democratic socialist means. And it's unfortunate that people believe that there are some folks who don't deserve decent food, clean air, and water. So, game on. And I think that your theme song is very appropriate to this campaign, like it or not. I'm here. And the fact of the matter is I'm going to win November 2nd. And we're going to begin prioritizing those that have been left behind for so long.
Yes.
Shout out India Walton. I greatly appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. So I just want to add in that, Mayor Brown, the clown. I'm just kidding. Mayor Brown, he, for him to have that position and hold that position for a long time, making history in his moment, right? You would think he would pass the baton, right? This is that crabs in the barrel type thing. And is he upset that you're a woman? He said that he doesn't want someone who's unqualified. And last week I spoke about, who makes those rules of being qualified or unqualified. He is just upset because in that moment, while he was having that, while he had that position, you actually experienced, you were somebody who can talk about life's real experiences. He's afraid of that because right now that's what the people want to hear. That's what the people want to see. You've lived life. You've walked in a lot of people's shoes. People can understand your language. People speak that language. People can move in that direction. And they know that with someone like you in office, having that seat, making history as the first Black woman, but having that seat, it's going to be where you actually are for the people. And I believe that's what Mike Brown is scared, or Mayor Brown, whatever. I don't know. Mayor Brown is afraid of, but he's had that position. And what really worries me is that he wouldn't look at you and say, change. This is change. This is history. We're doing something right in Buffalo. That would also be if he wants credit or if he wants that, that would be something for him. Remove yourself, sir. Remove yourself and allow you to get in there. My question to you is, when you say that, you were a registered nurse and things like that, what brought you, what pushed you to take on now becoming someone who is political and wanting this seat?
Mm-hmm. So I became a nurse largely because I have 19-year-old twins. They were born extremely premature, and I was dissatisfied sometimes with the way we were treated in the hospital. And when I went to one of the other nurses and I told her, she said, if you don't like it, you should go be a nurse. So that's what I did. And, at every stage of my life where I saw something wasn't right, I wanted to do something about it. So in my interactions with patients, eventually students as a school nurse, I'm like, being a nurse is great, but these one-to-one interactions is not going to get the job done. So I wanted to work on policy and have a broader impact on my community. And that led me into organizing in the nonprofit world. What a lot of people don't know is that I'm a policy dork, right? So when we talk about an experience, my experience has been that I have been a part of coalitions, advocacy groups, and as a nonprofit executive myself, taking smart policy to City Hall and having the door shut in my face. That's a part of the reason why I decided to run, was because I know that if we just have the cooperation of our city government, we can get so much more done. I've sat in rooms with the mayor. In fact, in 2015, we were at a political function together, and I said, why aren't there any women in elected office in Buffalo? And he said, if you don't like it, you should run. So, here we are. And the reason why I'm able to articulate policy so well is because these are things that I actually believe, that I know for myself, that I've researched, that I've read about, I've written policy. And I'm not just parroting someone else's prepared talking points, right? This is 39 years of lived experience. I'm a highly intelligent person. I'm sharp, I'm smart, I'm ready to go. And I know what I don't know. And I don't expect that I'm going to have all the answers. But what I will do is go and find the people who are the experts who have the answers to help me get the job done.
Hello.
And they got the nerve to say that she's not qualified. Okay.
But she's not qualified in the sense where they just look at her and think that she's, just another person, who's just getting all this stuff from the internet, fighting for Black lives in the streets. That's not qualified to these people that have been holding these seats. These people that have been holding these seats and, never letting nobody in, not really any change happening. But not India. A few of the policies that I love that you're running off of are public safety, housing, immigration, pandemic recovery, the arts, climate, economic growth, education, public housing, food access, infrastructure. You said something online and you were like, these are the policies that they're scared of, they're afraid of, and they're afraid of this because it will it may actually do something. It may actually push forth some change. And they're afraid because it's coming from somebody who has experienced a lot of these things. And they're like, no, we can't have somebody relatable in this seat. We need to have somebody who's able to ride both waves, both the right and the left, right? That bipartisan idea. But we have to have somebody in the seat, and it takes a Black woman. We have to have somebody in the seat that is going to literally say, hey, no to the right, no to the left, but here is what the people want. It's not specific to anything but change, and this is where we have to go.
Well, you know me, I'm going to be pushing for the left, but that's just me. Sister Walton, I want to play this clip from y'all debate where you really made it clear. This is the part that I want everyone to just let this resonate in your soul. You won the Democratic primary, which means Byron Brown lost. And so by right, he should not have even been on the stage with you at the debate.
He said, right him in.
That he is a sore loser who wants to be written in. Exactly, Sister Zora. Run this clip from the debate so the people can see how Sister Walton read this man for filth real quick.
When I knock on doors, you know what people tell me? They don't know any of these people who are up on this stage with me. They don't know anything that they have done.
I mean, you've been mayor for 16 years. I would expect that everyone would know who you are. But the fact of the matter is that I won the Democratic primary. I'm not even sure why I'm standing up here with the three of you.
Thank you, Ms. Walton.
People are calling me. I haven't even won yet, but people see me on TV and they said, she must be someone who can help me. Someone called my campaign phone at 10:30 at night a couple of nights ago. There's a dilapidated house across the street from her. It's infested with rodents. She's called the city. She's called 311. She's called the Department of Health, and no one will help her. She doesn't even know where to start.
My God, today's sister.
Yes,
Sister
indeed.
Please,
Today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Look, read him like a book, sweetie. Encyclopedia. She said, you shouldn't even, I don't even know why you're standing up here with me.
Why are you here?
And she looked at him.
You don't even go to this school. Why are you here?
You don't even go here.
Right. Give me 6 feet, sir. Like, what is happening?
Social distance from this campaign, man. Sister Walton, please just continue the evisceration of this man.
You know, I am one of 6 children. I am third in the birth order. I'm 5 feet tall. I have 4 brothers. And before I went on that debate stage, my little brother called me and he said, I don't know why this man will ever even try it with you. And he like, just do what you do, sis. You got this. And when I practiced and I rehearsed my answers, I listened to it on a loop in my headphones. And when I got in the room and I listened to their openings, I took my notes and flipped them over. And I said, game on. All I have to do is be myself. The people want to listen to the truth. And this is one more debate than he acknowledged or even gave me in the primary. He didn't want to engage in dialogue or discourse when it was his turn. And during that time, he still didn't want to talk policy. He didn't want to talk policy. He didn't want to talk issues. You know, he was on the attack and clowning around. So, I let him have it, and I will continue to do so because it's unacceptable that he feels like his style of leadership is what the people are asking for. They voted already in June. They're going to vote again in November. And, thank you for your service, but you're no longer needed here.
Thank you for your services. Thank you for your services.
Sorry to that man.
Rebecca.
We are so ready. No, we're so ready. I think, and I said this when we was just rooting for you, because we was rooting for you. Okay, India, we was back here like, hey, like India, call our phone, India for Buffalo. That's what we were doing over here. But in that time, just to see a lot of, just to see you breaking the ceiling, right? And fighting your way in. I hate that you do. It has to be that way. But in this particular moment, like you are, you're breaking ground, right? Yeah. And I think that they're afraid of what's going to be new in that area. Never, when people think of Buffalo, we're not going to think of it being led by a Black woman. And we're talking history. And when we change history here, or when we add to it, and when the person that we're adding to it is Black, it makes America shifty. You know, it makes America uncomfortable, and it makes the people that are usually in power, which are usually white males or males in that position, it makes them, you know, look at it and say, no, we need to gain control. But in this time, your fight has been something beautiful. I hate that you got to fight this way, but you I have yet to see you be like, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to let them take this. You are like, no, I'm going to fight until the end, baby. And I will win. And I pray that for you. I hope that you do. I believe that, because with all of that in you, ain't no way. Buffalo deserves this. Buffalo deserves this.
They chose you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like the primary, you won, and you have had to go through a series of court cases as Byron Brown has inserted himself back as a sore loser. It's what I consider to be his own version of Donald Trump's big lie, not being able to take his loss. Tell us about where you all stand now in terms of all the different court cases and the decisions. Is this guy actually going to be on the ballot, and how do we get victory? Because the people have already spoken.
Mm-hmm. So, he was actually placed back on the ballot by a federal judge who was a Trump appointee and the brother of one of the incumbent's largest donors, right? But after a very extensive court battle, the Court of Appeals overturned that decision, so he is not on the ballot. But, you know, he has an independent expenditure that's Republican backed. Millionaires are pouring lots of money into this race locally. In fact, not only are they saying write down Byron Brown, but like the word has it that they've ordered stamps so people can go and stamp his name on the ballot. So, you know, that coupled with concerted smear and fear campaigns, lots of media being pushed against us. You know, the way we get to victory is boots on the ground, text and phone banks, but we need help with the finances too. I don't take money from lobbyists, corporate developers, or big companies. We raise our money, individual small donations, one supporter at a time. Folks can feel free to visit our website at www.indiawalton.com if they want to sign up to volunteer. I don't care where you are in the country. You can get on the phone and make phone calls, or you can send your financial support, $5, $10, $500. You know, we can use all the help that we can get in this moment, but we're going to keep on pushing, keep working hard each and every day. And I think that ultimately justice will prevail and we'll be victorious come November 2nd.
Victorious. It's a good word.
Victorious.
I believe that. Look, where two or more are gathered, okay? It will come. It's going to come to fruition. Yes, reach out, Bubba. Reach out.
We can touch and agree on that.
Amen.
Extend your hands to the camera all over the internet, all over Bob. Anyway, I don't know who I was about to say his internet it was. Indy, I want to play one last clip for you. It's Friday. We don't even care, especially when we have the right to clown somebody like Byron Brown. But let's pivot from him for a second, because one of the things that he's doing, and you mentioned, is the fear mongering and the scaremongering, the red baiting, particularly as it pertains to socialism. This is a clip, and you were at the New York City DSA, Democratic Socialists of America annual convention, and you're talking about quote unquote socialism and how it's portrayed as something that should be scary to black people. And I think that you handled it brilliantly. Let's take a look at that clip.
Socialism is scary to black people. It is, especially those older. They want what we want, but the word has been taken away from us. I've had people in my own community tell me that me being a member of the DSA was pushing the white boys' agenda. We have to work actively to undo that and bring people in, because this affects us. This affects us. This is our agenda. And I'm so independent that I wouldn't be pushing an agenda if I didn't feel like it belonged to me. So again, I thank you. Keep up the fight. I am yours in the struggle. We've seen it. We're watching it before our very eyes. We're going to have a socialist mayor. When we organize, we win. Solidarity forever. I love you. And I think now I'm going to take questions.
Solidarity forever. Sister Walton, we know your time is pressed and you have to get out of here, but I want you to get the last word and see if you could just put a bow, a ribbon around all of this as it pertains to your life. You know, and Rebecca pointed that out. Like you actually are out here ministering from a depth of experience, but also your fight for justice and your fight for democratic socialism. Yep. Get the last word, and then tell the people how they can connect with you.
I always wrap up everything that I say by saying that this, for me, is a radical act of love. I love my community. I love people. I am a caregiver, a mother, and a nurse, and I will never stop fighting for what is right, even if that means that I have to sacrifice my time and talents. I'm always going to show up. I was up at 6 a.m. on the picket line with nurses that are going on strike because their employer is not negotiating their contract in good faith. And that doesn't have anything to do with politics. It has to do with people and prioritizing people first over profits or anything else. So I just want to say I love you. Thank you for having me on. And again, if folks want to support, get involved in any way, learn more, visit our website at www.indiawalton.com. Follow us on all socials. Our socials are popping these days. And if you like any of those snappy lines, give us a follow and a like.
Hey, yes,
I like that.
I love that. Thank you so much, India. Look, we're gonna be writing for you. We're rooting for. Well, over here we love Black women, okay, and Black women who are pushing for change. And so we'll be rooting for you. And when that time comes, we want you back on the show so that we can celebrate you properly. Okay, a whole party.
When it's time to party, I just know y'all coming to Buffalo. Book them flights.
Man, what?
Thank you for the invite. We will be there.
Hey,
we will be there.
We're going to pull up. Matter of fact, we're going to pull up like this, James. Take us to a quick break and let's see the first lady of Buffalo, the soon-to-be mayor of Buffalo, India Walton, out of the club. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.